Welcome back, everyone. Day 9 to our 30 days to a better backswing. If you've just joined us, you want to catch up looking at the first 8 days, search GOLFZON LEADBETTER on the Google Play or App Store. You'll see the first 8 days of videos on our app and all the videos to come. Got a good one today with Jonathan from the Gray Institute. He's going to start talking about separation, being able to separate our lower body and our upper body. Very important for that transitional zone, the change of direction, to be able to lead the downswing with your lower half. But it's also important in the backswing. We need to give ourselves that range of movement. So at the backswing, we still have some movement and separation available to us to be able to start the downswing the way we want. Very much connected to contact, connected to the direction of the shot and the shape of the shot you're going to hit, but also connected to speed. And who doesn't want to swing it a little faster? So let's see what Jonathan's got to say today.
Sometimes what we need to just swing a little bit faster is some mobility, okay? It's not for everyone is speed training what they need to swing it faster. It might be mobility. And this right here is going to be a mobility exercise that I think for a lot of you is going to really kind of turn it up speed-wise in your swing. So I saved it for last because I believe it requires sort of the most out of your body. And now that we've kind of gotten those hips and your spine and your shoulders to have really good motion, these movements right here, these exercises, your body's gonna be able to do, but I won't just have you start with them, okay? So I hope you appreciate the kind of the progression and the logic behind it. What these are designed to do is to create what we call that X factor stretch, okay? So as we're going up to the top of the backswing, before we finish turning with our shoulders away from the target, our hips begin to move towards the target and rotate towards the target while we're finishing that backswing. And that's that X factor stretch. It's that rubber band effect. It's pulling that slingshot towards you and away from you at the same time to create that powerful slingshot, okay? So that can be hard on our lower back, okay? Because there's only so much degrees of motion in that lower part of our back that is available. And so if we're not getting good motion from our hips and from this upper part of our spine and our shoulders, well then this could be a move that doesn't feel very good for you. But it is a move that the best players in the world do. It's a move that the effortless swingers do, and it really does create a lot of speed and good efficiency and sequencing in your downswing. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start with our hands kind of in that backswing position like we've been doing, okay? Kind of that 9 o'clock L position, okay? And I want you to start with your feet together, and as you take your hands back, I want you to step with your left foot towards the target. So you're going back and stepping, back and stepping. You can even take advantage, remember how we use that right arm underneath that left, above that elbow, underneath that left tricep, whereas you take that arm back and you step, you use this right hand here to go ahead and pull you and not let your arm just go with that lunge. So you take it back, get a big stretch. Take it back, get a big stretch. Take it back, get a big stretch, okay? This last one right here, this one really, really maxes out your ability to separate your hips going one way and your shoulders going the other way, thinking about that transition in the downswing, okay? So as you take it back, now you're gonna take this left foot, you're gonna drop it behind you and add a little bit of rotation with it at the same time. So I'm going up, okay, that's that. I can feel all that energy stored there, and it's gonna go swinging that left arm on through and those hands and that club on through, okay? So really, really enjoy that exercise. And you know, I'm talking a lot about kind of the transition, but really the backswing and the transition are one thing. There's really not a backswing in the golf swing because there's never this point where things stop moving. So the transition is a part of the backswing, okay? So what this does is these movements are helping you with that sequencing of that transition, okay? But what they're also doing is they're creating, whoa, now all of a sudden when I go to take the club back, it's even easier. I got this buffer now. It's like I realize now it's like I got extra to be able to give in my backswing. Well, you need to have extra in your backswing if you want to be able to create that X factor stretch, because you can't just get to this position here and be in range of motion and then be able to create all of a sudden more separation. So you got to be able to have that ability to create the separation. You can't be in range at the top of your backswing if you're wanting to then create that X factor stretch going into the transition. So love these exercises, and I think you will too. Don't be surprised if you start hitting some longer drives.
Really important session from Jonathan today. I can't emphasize enough or back up what he's saying enough that this is something the great players do. This is something elite players, good ball strikers do, almost without exception. There's always that one person who tries to prove us wrong, but it is a common trait amongst great ball strikers. I believe in this so much that it really is one of the first things I look at in a lesson. I always video a player when they're hitting the ball over the camera, because this view, the arms, the club are not in the way. I can see what's going on in the torso, in the pelvis, in that crucial area as they're finishing the backswing, starting the downswing. What we see time after time is players' ability, good ball strikers, to keep their shoulders, to keep their torso very stable, not moving, as the lower body starting the downswing. Unfortunately, it's not just one movement. Sometimes us coaches try to make things simple. We make it sound of it's one movement, but it's not. We have that shift to the left Jonathan was working on. We have that rotation. And if we even added a bit more detail, there's a slight flexing of the hips as well with the really good ball strikers. So there's 2 or 3 things going on in the transition, and we need to make sure that we have the mobility to be able to make that movement. We have the strength to make that movement. And also, as we are always saying, the awareness, the feel of the correct movement. So you might be someone who's got the mobility for this, but you don't really know how to do it. You don't have the awareness of the correct feels. By going through these exercises, you can start to maybe feel what should be going on in your lower back, as Jonathan has described, what you should feel with the rotation. So I sometimes get players to do these exercises, and then when they're making their swing, you just try to combine the movements into one feel, into that feeling of finishing your backswing, starting the downswing. This is such an important lesson. There's so many things to talk about, but again, as Jonathan said, you've got to have that buffer. You can't be making a great backswing, but then be at your end of range of motion because you've got nothing left. You've got nothing left. You're going to start your downswing together, or even worse, with your upper body first. When we see that, the arms and club can come outside. That's going to affect the shape of the shot, the direction of the shot. When you don't have that separation, often it can lead to the club shaft moving first, which can lead to early release and scooping and affect contact. But obviously, clearly it's not the correct sequence of movement to create your maximum speed, to reach your potential in swing speed. So this is a key day in our 30 days to a better backswing. Really want you to put a little bit of focus into this. I want you to try to listen to your body. These exercises, does it feel easy? If that's the case, you need the awareness of the movement to improve. Is it difficult? Are you tight in these areas? Go to work on improving this. This is if you have a strong desire to improve your golf, this is something that you need to improve. This can be the key to improving your backswing and improving your game.